Ripley. Look.
Ripley.
Oh.
This is Ripley, our 5-month-old puppy. She's a menace to society. I just got home from the hairdresser and she saw this shawl and immediately like locked eyes with it. And as soon as I picked her up, she was like, so we had a discussion. We had a discussion. She's leaving it alone now, but she is sniffing everything and trying to type. And yeah, she came in. I do have one bag of yarn because I moved this from another spot so I could put this here.
Yeah.
So the yarn that was on it is in a bag over there. And she like beelined right for it and got a ball out and was chewing on it within like 3 seconds.
I don't know what is up with that.
She's a bloodhound for yarn and yarn accessories.
But she looks so sweet and innocent.
You would think that, wouldn't you? Isn't she so cute?
She says
I love her so much, but she is a menace to society.
No, you lie. She's just a baby.
She is just a baby. She's like, Mom, don't tell stories on me.
That's right. She's a baby.
So anyway, so this is Ripley. She's so cute just then. I love her so much. Okay, she's a menace though, but I love her. Okay, I'm going to put her out of the office.
Okay, so you're just back from the hairstylist.
The hairstylist, the hair salon, my stylist. Okay. It's so funny. I went in and I've been going to Kate for like 5 years now. Yeah. And I went in and I was like, Kate, I lived with the Bangs. I don't think I love them. And she was like, okay, good. She was like, I saw one of the reels the other day and I was like, oh, that's not working. And I was like, I'm glad we agree. So I have a
person says
again.
I like it.
We shifted it back over.
It's funny when your hair person is like, okay. And they agree. They're trying to be like, tactful.
I love Kate so much. I love Kate for 2 reasons. One is that, like, I know she's a very nice person. She's so nice. But she never makes me talk.
Oh, and yes. We've discussed this before.
We've talked about this before. I love the quiet
we have
time.
New people, so go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a small talker, and I'm not like, I just like to have, I just want to have quiet time. And so I have quiet time. And like a lot of the times that's when I have, I have like an hour and a half. So I can reply to people on social media and I can.
That long?
Yeah. 'Cause it's die.
Oh.
So I can, get caught up on social media, replying and emailing. And now I bring like printouts of, papers and stuff I have to read for my projects and stuff. That's what I was doing today.
Homework.
I read 2 studies. Very interesting. But that's, yeah. So, and she just lets me get on with that. And I get to have like quiet time. I think she probably enjoys like having quiet time. And we just have quiet time together. So that's the one thing I love about her. And the other thing is that I always like the cuts that she gives me. So
it looks good. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, because now you look like you.
Yeah, we changed up the color a little bit. We went like, she said she's going to darken it a tad and make it more ashy. So that's, okay. And I think this is the closest she's ever gotten to my natural color. This is very close.
I would agree.
Yeah. But you can still see, like you can see at the roots, you can see I still have gray. I got home like 15 minutes before we hopped on. So here we are.
I have a hair thing the week before Christmas, maybe.
I go back in 6 weeks because I'm trying to grow it back out. So this is where we are now.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to get like down to here eventually with all of it. So we're just sort of doing little trims every 6 weeks.
Okay.
So
It's so funny. I go every 4 weeks to have the sides, and it looks like, I mean, it's amazing how much it grows. I think it's amazing. And every time Amity, my hair person, she's like, wow, your hair grows really fast. Cause it looks like when she does the sides and the undercut, it looks like cotton balls come off. And I always end up wearing black or dark purple. And you'd think I'd learn. Like, I mean, she always, puts the cape thing on me, but still it guts everywhere
yeah,
and it's
it's
very
everywhere.
fine. And yeah, it looks like a cotton ball blew up in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I started knitting. I should set this aside. I started knitting
Yes, I want to hear about that.
project yesterday. So let me dig it out.
Oh, and while you're digging that out, tell people about your unicorn shawl.
Yeah, so this is I want to say it's called Unicorn Tales. It was a West Knits from ages and ages ago. And the first year that Jana and I did this, 4 years ago, not 3, this was the project that I did. And I kept up every day. I opened my yarn and I knit the stripe. And you can see it's like a bias knit.
Yeah.
And sort of the pointies aren't quite as pointy anymore. These
and
are
it was
usually
fun.
crisp.
Yeah.
It was really quick. Yeah, it's bias knit, garter stitch, whatever. So
love it.
It's super duper long. So I wear it usually wrapped around twice. I feel like my hair's everywhere right now. I wear it usually wrapped around twice when I go out in the cold, but I'm not in the cold right now, so I just have it.
Yeah.
The one time.
We'll put the link down below. We'll find it.
Yeah, we can put a link. It's a good, easy way to use up your Advent.
Or any scrappy scraps, it looks like. Yeah.
Any, really. So I am not far. I just have the very beginning of the first Piri pattern there is all. But yesterday was rounding up the materials and doing the provisional cast on and all of that stuff. So once I got going, it was pretty quick, but my alarm went off at 8:00 and I had to get back to work. So I put it aside and I went back to work.
When you said your alarm went off at 8:00, I'm like, what do you mean? Did you sleep in?
No, 8:00 at night. I am so tired. I can look at myself on this screen right now and see how tired I am. I'm so tired today.
Oh man, I was too. I'm having this menopause thing where I wake up at between 3 and 3:15 sometimes a.m. Sometimes I can go back to sleep, sometimes not. And I went 5 or 6 nights where I couldn't go back to sleep. And then finally Will's alarm goes off at 4:30. So I'm like, screw it. And I just get up. But then you're trashed, because, if you go to bed between 9:30 and 10 and then you wake up at 3 or 3:30, I mean, that's awful. So I had 5 or 6 nights like that. And I was just dragging. So finally, last night, it got to be 8 o'clock, and I'm done. I am done. I texted my mother at 8:30, and I'm like, going to bed early, good night. I was already in my bed when I texted her. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I slept until his alarm went off at 4:30. So 8:30, I was solidly asleep, I'm sure, by 9. So till 4:30, that's respectable. Yeah. And then I doze, push the snooze button, and wait for the coffee to get done. I probably get up at 5.
Yeah. So the last couple of nights, I focus so much more on coffee. I focus so much better with the caffeine, which is a sure indicator that I have ADHD.
Well, true. But what I've found is that if I only have 1 cup, it makes me feel sleepy. But you got to reach that threshold where you have to have 2 or 3 cups, and you're like, woohoo! And then you go.
Woo!
But if it's only 1 cup.
As I've been the last few days, I haven't been able to really sit down and work until 4, 5, whatever. And so I'm like, I gotta, I'm having trouble focusing. So I go make myself a coffee. I have the coffee. Well, the last 2 days, I had my last cup at 7 and 8. So I focused really well and I got a lot done, but I haven't fallen asleep until 12:30 and 11:30.
Oh no.
And this morning I had set an alarm for 6 a.m. that I either shut off without realizing, hi, kitty.
This is Mariah. She's the old lady of the bunch. You probably never seen her. She doesn't come very often, and she's large.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen her before.
No, She doesn't come to the desk, not on this side very often. She's like, let me down.
She's attitude
I know.
in your face.
She hangs out with me. Okay. She hangs out with me more that the kids are in college now because she's like, I am not her preferred person.
Yeah.
But she likes my desk in the sun. Anyway, so you finally went to bed at 12:30 or 1?
So I think I fell asleep last night about 11:30 and I set my alarm for 6, which isn't unreasonable. I can live on that, but apparently I either slept through it or I shut it off and went back to sleep because I woke up at like 6:40 and was like, what time is it? I thought I set an alarm. And then I just decided not to exercise today. So I've just been going though. I've been like getting stuff done and whatever all morning.
Errands
And cleaning and whatever. And so now I'm happy to just sit here looking like a tired old woman with a new haircut with my friend Jana.
And your shawl and your
coffee.
I have my water. I'm being good. My water.
Hydration.
And it has my little caffeine packet inside it. You know those little drink mixes that are tiny sachets?
Yeah, my husband likes those. So here we are.
Here we are.
And yeah, so I did. I'll take a break later today and
knit more.
Hang out with my kid and knit some more. And I am hoping to get through. So you do a peri pattern, a big pattern, and a peri pattern with each set of the 4. And I'm hoping to get halfway through the big pattern.
Right.
Today.
Right.
So that's
awesome. Look forward to seeing that. Yay.
How was your day? How was your evening and day?
I did some homework. Can I talk? I'm having a big sweater dilemma, and I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm going to have to rip it. I don't like it. I mean, I know other people like it. It's my quill tee, and I did a whole knit along, and I'm like,
you did a whole knit along with it, Jana.
Oh.
What do you not like about it?
Okay, I'm having trouble to complete Sleeve Island because I'm not sure I like the body. I'm not sure I like it. And it's difficult for me to keep investing the time. It's like throwing good money after bad, right? Because I'm like, do I carry on and finish it and then see how I feel when it's done? I feel like this is a common thing for knitters. Or do you just rip it and then put it in hibernation and be like, okay, now what?
So I'm of 2 opinions of this. First of all, there have been sweaters that I have finished and not liked. And since that time, my body has changed and they suit me better now. And I wear them now. And I didn't wear them when I finished them 4 years ago. So there's always that. There's always like women's bodies. We go up and down and all around. And it might just be that it fits you better at another time.
Well, I don't mind how
that's an option.
I don't like the colors.
Oh, it's the colors?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's probably not going to change.
Right. Okay. Do you want to see? And then, I mean, it's the internet. People have opinions. Feel free to drop a comment down below.
Oh, they're going to drop their opinions.
And it's okay. It doesn't mean I have to take them. That's my prerogative.
That's right.
But, hooray, do that. Okay.
Yeah, go grab it.
Oh, it's here. Here.
Okay.
It's here. It's been sitting here staring at me for days and days.
It's purple, Jana.
No, it's not
your
all
color.
It's not all purple. If it was, that wouldn't be a problem. Okay, so you know how I love a gradient. Well, it didn't quite turn out to be the way I wanted it to be. So, I mean, I'm dealing with the sleeve part too here. I have both sleeves going because I was doing minis. Okay, see? So I don't like this part. So I am debating about ripping back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm wishing I'd just done a solid color now, like everyone else.
Do you have more of the purples and pinks? Like, can you?
Well, no, just that they were all 25-gram mini skeins in a set.
Okay, so it really.
And then I knitted, what I did was I knitted like, let's use this greenish one just because you could see the stripe easily.
Uh-huh.
So I weighed it all out and I knitted 2/3 of the weight on the body, and then you have 1/3 or a
Right.
sixth and a sixth or however. But I made
You
sure
did the math.
I made sure to keep back enough for the sleeves so that if I wanted to make, because the pattern is short sleeve, but if I wanted to make the sleeves longer, I would have enough to match the color, the gradient on the
Right.
sleeves. But I don't really like it. This bothers me. If it was all
See,
dark and dark.
yeah, I wouldn't put a light stripe around my waist like that.
Well,
That
I didn't mean to. It's just came
yeah,
in sequence and I just
yeah,
followed.
that's so I can understand that. But I mean, I also I don't think I would just like undo it all. I think I would just reknit the is it bottom up?
No,
It's top down? Oh, that's even easier. So just pull out the bottom and just
I could
redo.
just take
Like
it
go to
back.
the navies that you have there. Like transition because you have the purple to the darker and you can go instead of going into the light green. I'm pointing like you can see. Instead of going into the light green or the mid green, you could go into like the navies that you have at the bottom.
Maybe. I mean, I need to rip back to at least here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then I thought, well, I mean, I would probably like the whole thing better if it were a solid color, honestly.
Can I point out, Jana, that just yesterday, I believe you were talking about how you were a process knitter and you didn't mind ripping things back
No,
and changing them.
true. I don't mind. I feel stupid because I did this whole knit along and I was excited about it. But I mean, I think that just makes me like a knitter like everyone else.
Well, and it's a teaching opportunity too. Like you can do a video about this. Like imagine you've gotten this far and you're not happy with it. So how can you change it? Like
it's
that's
okay to be the boss.
content.
It's okay to,
Yeah.
you know, change your mind. To change your mind. It's
Yeah.
okay to change your mind because I think the techniques that I showed in the knit along tutorials didn't have anything to do with the colors I chose.
Yeah.
99% of all the people that knit this do a solid color. And now I wish I would have.
Yeah.
It's
So
okay.
it's fine. You could also go find yarn that would work with that yarn that is a solid and do it as a solid, and then it becomes a fade for the top part.
Oh. Huh.
I'm all out of coffee.
Dang it. Should we pause and get some more?
Oh my gosh, no.
No.
I would be like,
Woo! Be like, that's enough of that. So
I'll
anyway,
start having panic attacks.
stay tuned about that. I am on my third hexagon
Awesome.
and I have not yet started knitting back my mother's thing. That's still sitting here. But tonight will be lots of football and knitting because the Packers and the Lions play Thursday night football on Amazon Prime.
Nice. My tonight is going to be more working on my audit sustainability report. I'm learning so much doing this. I really like doing a master's degree because it's really like figure out what you want to learn and go learn it. And we're here to help you.
Yeah.
Basically. And like they give you tasks. I mean, obviously I wouldn't just be randomly doing a sustainability audit.
I mean, right.
But it's very much like you have to do this. This is what we expect. Go do it.
Yeah.
And so as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, wait, I have to justify why I did this sort of interview. So I need to go read about these kinds of interviews and, make sure I can justify it. Yeah. Or if I want to solve this, how would I go about that? And then I have to go do the research and figure it out. And it's just such a different process than any other learning I've done so far, where it really feels like just being a human, a curious human, And
and that's why, people say when I started back to school, they're like, oh, what are you going for? And I'm like, I don't know. They have this like liberal studies degree where, what's it called? A bachelor's of general something. I don't know. It's for people that can't decide what they want to be when they grow up. That's me.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And my advisor, I mean, I am in the old school train of thought where, you got to have a plan and you have your checklist and your degree program and ding, ding, ding. And you just check off all the classes you're supposed to have. And she's
Right.
like, no, that's not how this works. She goes, you just take what you want to take and then we'll make it work. And I'm like,
Yeah. Well, I remember being
okay.
doing my undergrad and being like, I just want to be a Renaissance man. I just want to like learn a lot of different stuff
Yeah.
and just like, because, and
Yeah.
that was totally, that's what the Renaissance was. Like all these artists were scientists, were
Yeah.
philosophers, were whatever. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I just want to like learn a lot of stuff. And they were like, yeah, no, that's not.
No, and now they're like, well, yeah, do that. And then you have like your 2 focus areas that you identify, and then you fill in, and then you take, X number of lower division classes and X number of upper division classes in those focus areas. But she's like, we're not quite to that point yet of worrying about what's what. Just take what you want. We'll make it work. I'm like, oh. So I have 2 classes next semester that are just things I think are going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. That's exciting.
I know. And next semester, I don't have to go. Next semester's online classes. So I'm just going to stay home and watch it snow and be blustery and whatever.
Perfect.
And maybe go to school.
Do you want to share what you're taking yet?
Oh, sure. One is called, Will calls it the isms class because it's a religion. Well, it's cross-listed in philosophy and religion both. It's cross-posted. And it's all about like Hinduism, Taoism, Confucianism, all the isms. And it's Eastern thought.
Yeah.
And then the other one is called Social Media and Mass Culture, Collective Consciousness, something like that. I forget the title.
Oh, cool.
And it's through the University Honors Program. And I think it's really applicable to what we do because it's all about our connection to social media and like people's inability to put their phone down and that collective consciousness. And it's going to be super interesting.
Yeah.
I know it's slightly ironic that the class is online, but it's talking about the impacts of social media and it's really discussion based. So even though these are kind of like the new version of a correspondence course, you have online discussion forums in the university platform, similar to Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever it is now. I know those are 2 different things. Anyhow, it's going to be really interesting. So I saw a video the other day about a guy that he's in his mid-20s and he has a YouTube channel and he decided to delete everything off his phone.
Okay.
Like all the apps, all the social media things. And all he used, this is for 30 days he tried this. All he used his phone for was actual communication, like actual phone calls and texting. He didn't use it as a browser. He didn't use, any of the social media apps. It's not that he went off social media, but he had to be intentional about it and use actually open his computer and decide he was going to sit down and do that. And he left his phone on the counter like it was a landline, and every time he caught himself reaching for his phone, he found in his pocket one of those small, notebooks. So, and he said that what he found was that the transformation was amazing. So he would write stuff down every time he went to reach for his phone. And he replaced his phone with a notebook, basically. I mean, and people don't have landlines anymore. So obviously he didn't cut off his phone. I mean, he used it for communication.
Yeah.
But it's a much more intentional, conscious thing.
I like
there was no doom scrolling.
That idea of not just putting it aside, but having a notebook there, because I know a lot of the times when I reach for my phone, it's because I got to look this up now or I'm going to forget. So if I have a notebook there that I can be later look up this thing or make sure you confirm with this, whatever. And then I could later sit down at my computer and take care of those things. Because then a lot of the times I go on and I'm like, okay, I got to confirm with Joanne that I'm doing this with her later. And the next thing I know, I'm watching internet reels for 10 minutes.
You're like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, wait, I didn't even confirm with Joanne. And I confirm with Joanne,
woo, down a rabbit hole. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
an attention span anymore.
Right. And I think that's a problem. I think a lot of us don't. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I was really concerned about. I think I mentioned this. I talked about this at knit night during the summer last summer when I decided to register for classes. I was really concerned about my ability to sit down and like read a novel, right?
Yeah.
Because when's the last time I did that? I don't know. I mean, we're all just scroll, and we
Yeah.
have the attention spans of a gnat.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last
And
time and I'm speaking for myself, I'm not talking about anybody else because my children are in school and they're very good at reading. But I thought, it's been years since I actually read a book
no.
and not
Yeah.
just listened or summarized or skimmed. The internet teaches us to skim.
Yeah. Scam and it's affected so much
Yeah.
of our wider lives, like how we discuss things, the amount of patience we have with other people, like just
Yeah.
because everything has to be in sound bites now, or we get impatient or shift, or we feel like we have to be the next contributor, like you've been talking for 15 seconds. Now it's my turn to talk because I have a 15-second attention span.
Right.
So, yeah,
That's why one thing I love about backpacking is you literally you don't have any options. There's no cell coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my safety emergency Garmin on my backpack strap. I have my, I've fallen and I can't get out button, like the satellite communicator in case of an emergency. And I use my phone for a map. I use my phone because it Bluetooths to my Garmin. I use my phone for the map.
Oh, nice. Uh-huh.
Other than that, I have a notebook I have this like waist pack, or there's a pocket on my backpack, and I take a notebook. And my friend and I were like, wait, we have to remember to look that up. Exactly the same thing you said. And we make a list of all the things we want to find out about, whether it's, the lifespan of a hummingbird or whatever, things that we've seen that we wonder about. And that's what's fun, as most of it is related to nature and the places we've been and the things that we've seen and the questions that we wonder about,
Yeah.
and we'll come out of the wilderness with a list of stuff. Yeah. So then when we drove home, it was like a 3-hour drive home, and she looked up everything and told me the answers while I drove. So, but it's rejuvenating to be able to unplug like that. Yeah. So, I mean, I think people can. I think you can be intentional about your social media time. And I mean, I make my living doing this, so I'm certainly not down on it. I'm just saying it shouldn't be used as at the expense of our actual in-person relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
At Thanksgiving, we had a basket, and we politely and respectfully asked everybody to put their phone in the basket in the entryway when they came over.
Nice.
So there wasn't any phones at our Thanksgiving table.
I like that. That's
and
nice.
we played board games, and it was a ton of fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, shall we open some stuff?
Yes, let's open stuff.
Speaking of
hands-on heritage crafts.
So I have over here on this shelf where you can't see it, unfortunately. This is all of Becky's things. And I've decided to just start sticking the yarn in there and showing it all at once because it's going to start being hard to hold.
Well, that's a smart idea though, because then we can see the shift from brown packages to color. Yeah.
So I think did I grab 9? I grabbed 9.
9.
This one's 6.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I didn't realize until I saw what end the thing was on. I was like, oh no, that's 9. Okay. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
That's a big, so that's like, like a jump from here to here in the pink. Now I have a jump like that in the green.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I see what you mean. Goodness.
That's cool. Let me, I'll throw it all like that. There we go. Nice. There it is so far. So that's mine. And I should have to say, Becky's yarn is so nice. It's so touchable. I just love it. Okay. Your turn.
Okay. Day 6. I'm going to show you the day 5 I have to be careful here because I accidentally pulled this one out a little much, and I think I'm a little tangled now. So I want to be careful, but there's the day 5 stripe.
Ooh.
Look at that.
I really like that so far. Very nice.
And then we have our dark neutral.
Okay.
You want to guess? Any guesses?
Is it, I don't know, is it another pink? Are we going to switch maybe to a green again? No? Purple? Yellow? I'm allergic, whatever it is. Is that orange?
Yes.
Like a coral? That's really pretty.
It's pretty orangey.
That's lovely.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Nice.
Nice. Nice.
Nice. Okay.
That's going to be fun. It's been fun to do this in the middle, and then I can start knitting it right away while you talk.
Yeah. So day 6 is another gifty one.
Yay.
And this one makes me laugh because if you open it, you have to open it again. So these I bought the second year we did this for the Shetland Hogmanay boxes.
Right.
And it said when I bought them that they were opaque, and then I got them and they're actually see-through.
Oh.
So I have to use them double.
Makes sense.
So, okay. Going in again. Oh. Yeah, okay, yep, that makes sense. I was like, oh crud, did I pack it in the wrong order?
Oh no.
Now, but it is what it is. It is how I intended it. So this is a WPI tool made by Paperwork Furniture, who's been involved in the boxes before. So the reason why I had him make this for us this year is because all of these yarns are jumper weight, but they're all from different wool sources and they're all processed at different mills.
Right.
So I thought it would be interesting for people to have a WPI tool, a wraps per inch tool, to see how they vary from yarn to yarn, and then also observe how that comes out in the product and in how you're knitting it, how it feels and everything. So this year you have a WPI tool. You have a little hole here if you want to put a ring through it or a ribbon and tie it into something. But
so I think that's super interesting because, like, when you say jumper weight in the US, we would call that
fingering.
Right.
Yeah.
Not fingerling, those are potatoes or fish. Fingering.
Yeah. Fingering weight. Or and it does say fingering weight on here. I had him put that instead of jumper weight. But it's also like in the UK, sometimes they call it 4-ply, sometimes they call it 2-ply, sometimes they call it, jumper weight. It's like there's so many names for it. And then other countries have their own standards. So it
is interesting though, because it could be a heavier or lighter weight fingering yarn, or sock weight yarn.
Yeah.
And it's super interesting because they're not all the same and people forget that. And that's why swatching is important.
Swatching is important. You can't and your different types of spin are going to affect how it behaves. Mm-hmm. And, different breeds, it's going to affect how it behaves, and like all different preparations affect how it behaves. So always swatch. Yeah,
so we talk about that with Woolens and Nosh. I really love this sock yarn because it is I think it's a 3-ply, but it's targy. It's targy, not merino, and it's sturdier because it's targy. Merino is lovely, but it's not the most durable.
Yeah,
and so this is targy with 10% nylon, and it does soften once it's washed or soaked a bit. But I love it. It's sturdier than merino. I think it's a far better sock yarn. So if you're actually knitting socks, if you're knitting a shawl or whatever, then knock yourself out with the merino. But you know what I mean.
But it can affect the drape. It can affect how much stretch it has to it.
It is.
Yeah, exactly. There's all kinds of things that the different breed types can bring to the table.
Definitely. Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Oh, I didn't mention the winner. So yesterday's posting winner is UP_spinner.
Oh.
So up spinner. Yeah.
UP
Congratulations. I haven't
Yay.
messaged her yet, but oh no, I did message her. I messaged her before we started today. So yeah, so just remember, go over today, find the post on the I Thought I Knew How wall on
Yes.
Instagram and leave a comment. And if you're in the US, and you'll qualify to win one of the giveaway prizes.
One of the daily Instagram. Can we talk about Craig for a second? That was funny. So if you haven't read through Anne's comments, go over there and do that. And Craig, who has been he's been in my group for a while, a couple of years probably at least. I'm not sure. He lives in Alaska and knits socks. Go, Craig. And he goes, I forget how he phrased it, but he's like, I wonder if Anne should be a little offended that you're willing to go to Sweden and you haven't been to Shetland yet. And I'm like, maybe. I mean, you might have a point there. But to be fair, if I win this Sweden thing, they're paying, right?
It's
they're
free.
They're paying for it. And I did just get my passport.
Yes.
But I would be open to going to Shetland.
Yeah. There's lots of reasons.
There is lots of reasons. I don't know that I would want to go during Shetland Wool Week. It might be a cool experience, but it seems a little too people-y for me.
It's very people-y.
But there's people I might want to see.
I'm not against it, but it is very people-y. And you would see a lot of people. Like you would catch the most number of people there that week for sure.
That I would like to. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I like Shetland any time of year. And if you're going to meet Shetlanders who you know, then they're pretty much there all the time. I mean, people go on vacation here and there, but you can get them anytime.
But if there are people that I would want to meet, then I would probably message them ahead of time and say, hey, are you going to be around?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'd make sure that you were there so you could show me around.
That's right. And no, I'm not offended. I'm not offended because really we could just meet each other here in the US.
We could. We could. We need to actually intentionally arrange that at some point.
I know.
Anne's schedule is much more complicated than mine.
It really is. And this degree program has not made that easier. I'm probably going to be in Shetland like 6 months this year.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I'm going for, we go for Apelio, which is the last Tuesday in January. And then my cohort for the master's program meets in person because it's all online. We're all over the world, but we meet in person once a year in London to go to 2 conferences and have like a day of stuff together. And that's at the end of February. So I'm going in January and then I'll come back through London in February. And then I'm going to go to the Woolly Good Gathering again at the beginning of April. And since I'm there, I'm going to do the flight up to Shetland and be there for a few weeks. And then so like the first semester I have a class, and then the 2 other semesters of the year is when I have to do my master's thesis. And it will be in some way based on events in Shetland. And so I need to be there to conduct research.
So maybe you should clarify for viewers. I don't know that maybe we have. And my apologies if I can't remember. Old lady thing. Have we told people what degree or certification that you're aiming for?
I think so. I'm doing a degree in creative event management.
Okay. I didn't know if we said that. So that makes sense. Okay.
Maybe. I mean, it's out there. I've talked about it on my show, and I think we said early on, but maybe we hadn't. I don't know.
So that's what your master's will be in creative event management. So that makes sense that you spend these other events, and then that's part of it.
So I've been trying over the last several years to get around to as many different fiber events as I can, just to see what's being done in the field now.
Sure.
And my interest in this started during the pandemic when I did the online International Fiber Festival and created this online heritage festival. So I really enjoyed doing that OIFF festival online, and I had a lot of positive feedback about that. And so I'm trying to work out ways to continue that as an online festival, and then also perhaps bring that into a real world activity as well. Yeah. So that's sort of where my focus is as I'm learning about all of this stuff and trying to, manage logistics of something like that and how to go about that and everything. So that's my interest with learning all of this, and hopefully it will all come to be. But that's sort of my first choice. And if that just becomes too big, or if there needs to be a lead into that, then just working on sort of developing things like that you and I do, like these online events, and helping those to grow and become more established.
And you're going to be, you travel a lot.
I do travel a lot.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why I'm traveling a lot, is just to go and see what's happening out there already.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned a lot the first time I went to, first and only time so far that I've been to Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Festival. I had never been to an event like that, and I learned a ton. I attended several classes as a student, and I learned a lot of things that helped me as an instructor at my own event,
Yeah.
So.
Like I've helped friends with their marketplace booths before at different events, and I've been part of the move-in for that. And normally it's sort of like pull up your car and walk stuff in. And this last at the New England Fiber Festival, I volunteered this year, and that's what they assigned me to do, was to coordinate people moving their vehicles into the building, pulling into their space and unloading and then getting out again so that other people could come through. And there were different entry points and different exit points, and like the aisles had to be clear and all of that stuff. And I'm out there as one person opening and shutting these giant doors, and then just dealing with like the vendor who's been like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Go confirm where your booth is, because you don't know if something changed, and then come back to me, and then this particular one I'm thinking of, she was actually the first person I helped that day when I got there. And I was told, do not let anyone in until they've confirmed where their booths are. And I was like, okay. And this one woman came up, she had a huge truck with a massive trailer. And she came up and she was like, I know what I'm doing. And I was like, good morning.
Okay, then.
I was like, I need you to pull us to the side, please, and go in and check in and make sure that your booth is where you think it is. It's always in the same place. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go up this aisle. I'm going to turn around and come back. I need you to go confirm. And then I'm going to have you pull directly into your aisle so that you can exit at the far side of the building without anyone having to turn around. I know what I'm doing. I'm like, so I was like, okay, she knows what she's doing. It's my first day. Have at it, lady. So she went down the wrong aisle. She had to turn around in a place where she didn't normally have to turn around. She had to go a different area to come down. Someone else had already started setting up his booth, so she couldn't make a clean turnaround because she had a massive truck with a massive trailer. And then it was just like all this stuff. And so anyway, so it was just like, yes, okay, there's rules for a reason. And then just like observing like how all of these rules sort of played out during the day, like when everything was working well. And so it was so fascinating. And, it could have just been like, I'm there opening doors, shutting doors, but I was just like watching everything the whole time. If you were a vendor, I was watching you, just so you know.
I enjoyed taking those classes and hearing the good things and the things that I would do differently. And so that was super beneficial for me because I just learned a lot, of what I would love to adopt and then maybe what I would do differently. And that's education both ways. Knowing what you don't want to do is just as valuable as knowing what you do.
Right.
So,
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
anyway, so that's what I'm studying is the
Cool.
logistics of event management, the reasoning behind it, how to be effective.
You have a focus, and I'm like, woo, whatever. I want to take that, and I'll take that next time, and I'll take, yeah.
And if it all goes to heck, then I'll just help people plan parties and like
There you
get a
go.
job at a golf course doing wedding
Doing
receptions,
weddings,
like,
tournaments.
yeah.
There you go. Well, people can put comments down below about my problem, but I might have to just order some sport weight solid color and have a do-over, or I don't know. But right now I'm not on Sleeve Island because I'm gonna knit other stuff right now while I figure it out. And it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay. Timeout's okay.
it's okay.
So all right.
Do you have to do more content for it though? Because it isn't
No.
in long?
Well, I showed how to do the sleeve pickup, and it's a short sleeve thing. We've already done the bind off and the ribbing on the waist, so it's the same.
Okay, same idea.
Yeah. So all the
So
time.
it can pause.
It can pause. Okay. All right. Well, on that note, I'll see
On
you
that note, okay, adios.
tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.